Hey everyone, Stephen the Salon Guy here, and I want to thank you all for watching my videos. Today I've got a really cool video because I'm going to throw it back to when I was first starting out as a hairstylist, 20-something years ago. And today's tutorial is going to be a haircut, but a cool version and something I learned many years ago on how to cut a stacked bob. So if you want to get like that really nice stacking, that nice volume into the back here where it's higher and then it comes down like this, I'm going to show you guys a really cool technique that I learned many years ago on how to do it. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm getting nice and close for you guys here, and this is so exciting. This is bringing me back way back to my roots of haircutting, and this is something that, if you're into it, give it a shot. But it worked for me many years ago. Now traditionally when you cut a bob, you start down here, you create your guideline first, then you hold everything out this way, and you start to cut down this way. Well, I learned a really cool way to where it's actually you're going to be putting in your line first like this, and then you're going to be stacking on top of it and leaving the bottom out. So here's what we're going to do. All right, and this might be intimidating for some of you guys, but trust me, it's going to work. So what you want to do is determine where you want this to start, where you want the angle here to start coming in and going towards the side. Do you want it up here? Do you want it lower? Where do you want that wedge here to start, that stacking? So let's do it right here, which means this point right here is where it's going to come to, and then it's going to angle down this way. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our first section just like this. Okay, this is our first section for the whole haircut. We're going to comb it. I'm using the fine teeth like this. Again, I want this to start right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut straight across. Okay, don't lose that section, keep it nice and tight right there. Alright, cut it straight across, and that's our first section. Now do the same thing on the other side. Alright, just pretty much mirror the section that you took. Okay, there you go. There's the guide right underneath right there. There's your guide from where you just cut previously, and you're going to cut straight across. Okay, take this one last piece here in the corner. Okay, just make sure you don't take too much hair from underneath. You want to make sure you have everything pretty much the same balance. There you go, and cut it. So now you have what you can see here is a line going across just like this. Alright, and you can comb it straight down. There's your line right there. Now if you feel you might have to go a little shorter on one side because it's not always perfect the first time, and if it's a little bit longer, then you go back in and just trim it up. Not a problem. But try to make sure it's pretty even because you want that line to be straight. Alright, now we're done with this. We're going to put away the scissors, and now we're going to work towards our next step. Alright, now we've got our next section. There's the hair from underneath. There's our guide. Okay, we're going to comb it straight down, and you're going to comb it straight on top. There's your guide underneath. Comb it to where you can see it, okay? And then what you're going to do is use your razor, just like that. Take your next section. I'm going to do one side at a time. Take nice, fine sections like this. All right, there it is. There's your guide from before. Now remember, we're cutting this on an angle, okay? So we're coming down this way. There's the guide from before, and we're going to cut like that. Okay? Continue to do this up the head to where you're going to be holding everything a little bit lower because you don't want to go too high, because this point right here is where everything is going to be as far as the stacking. You already established your guideline. Okay, now we're just working in the shape like that. Alright, so I'm going to continue working up the head this way. When you get up here, you're basically over directing and you're pulling everything down to this one point down here, and you'll be able to see your guideline underneath. Okay, there you go. So I'm going to finish this side here. Then I'll go back and do this side, and then I'll show you where we're at. I just want to show you guys something. When you're in through the corner over here, alright, you can see we're right around the ear area. you want to make sure you kind of comb it back towards you this way, because this will create that longer flow in through here. You don't want to be careful. You don't want to cut any sort of holes. You want to keep it pretty solid right in through here, okay? But now I'm combing it all down, all right? And what we've done is we've created our stacking in through here. I know this might look kind of odd, kind of like a little bit of a jellyfish here, but now what we've done is we've created a soft blend in through here. So now we've got this is our guide now on the bottom. We can now then work that as short as we want into here, because we have this established now, okay? So now that we have this done, it's ready to then be blended in through the sides. And how you can do that is really up to you, because now you've got this whole part to work with. You can take this back, over direct it, and you can then use the razor and cut going down this way. Okay, so let's do that. There's the razor. We're sliding in like this, and we're creating a little bit of a softer shape coming in this way. All right, take your next section, brush this out of the way, over direct back towards you. All right, again, this is going to keep it longer towards the front, but it's going to create a softer shape. This really works good on hair that's relatively thick. You could use a razor on finer hair, just as long as you don't go too crazy with it, because again, you don't want to take away too much of the weight. So you might be better off using a shear. But this Mannequin has relatively good amount of hair, so you can do this. But this really again is for the technique. So see, I'm over directing back, and there's the guide. Here we are working on an angle like this, and creating a nice beautiful shape working forward. And probably can take one more section this way, over directing back towards you. Okay, now that you're working on the sides, you're angling back again. That's going to give you that longer shape going towards the front. And we can take the last section right here, and it's always better to leave it a little bit longer in the front just for safety, okay? But now look what we've done. Look what we've done here. There's the stack right there, and here is the angle going towards the front. Look at that. Beautiful. Now we still have a lot of work to do. I'm going to do this on the other side, and then we'll come back and we'll move into the rest of the haircut, especially down into the nape here. Alright, now we're ready to take on this back part here. And what we're going to do is we are going to comb everything to where our guide is, alright, which is right there. Then we are going to just simply cut down like this, okay? We're going to do the whole back like that. This way we can establish a nice guide in through the back here. We're also eliminating all of that longer hair as well, okay? So let's continue to finish this throughout the whole back, and then what we're going to do is we're actually going to go in and dry it, and then cut a little bit of scissor over comb, and then really come in and finish this whole thing off like it should look. Okay, so here we have the corner. There we are cutting down like this, and as you can see already, it's starting to now look better, but it still needs some tapering. But we're not done yet. I'm going to show you guys how we actually soften this once it's dry, but we're getting there. We're almost done. Now what you want to do when you dry this is you want to actually dry it and use a like a paddle brush here. This is the 413 sculpting brush from Paul Mitchell, and you just want to kind of work the hair and wrap it around, and that will help really smooth out all of this in through here and make it lay down nicely, and do that on this side as well. So let's do that, and then we'll come back and we'll start to finish this part in through here. Alright, I want to show you where we're at. As you can see, it's got a nice kind of stack right here, and it works towards the face a little bit longer. And here's if you brush it back like this, you can see it has a beautiful shape to it. Alright, coming in through this way. Alright, now look at that, gorgeous. That's really, really sharp. Now what I want to do is we have to work this in now. All right, so let's take it to the next step. Let's take this really, really tight into here. I'm actually going to use the clippers. You can even use scissor over comb, but I'm going to use the clippers down through here. Then we're going to work this in right through here and kind of soften this up a little bit. All right, so I'm going to use something equivalent to probably would be like maybe a 3 or even a 2 clipper. And what we're going to do is we're just going to bring this up a little bit. We're going to bring this up just to where this sits right here, where the actual graduation and the stacking starts. Okay, so just use the clipper, follow it up the back of the nape down into here, and just bring it up to where you see it's starting to blend itself in almost, so that you can go back in and then just do a little bit by hand. And that first section that you cut, remember, that was relatively short, but you also created a line in through here, and then you soften it up. So now we're actually just cutting this up into what we cut, so it's almost blending itself, you know? So let's continue to finish this up into here. I'd say this is good right about here. There you go. And the rest you can kind of do by hand. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to blend this in using scissor over comb, and I'm just going to refine this just a little bit so that it blends in just a little bit better. Okay, just cutting it up to that line of demarcation that we kind of cut before, and I'm just using my thumb here and just slightly working this in and getting it to where I can then go in with the thinning shears and then really soften it up a little bit. So as you can see, it's really tapering it in nicely and really blending it in. So let's continue to do this to where you feel comfortable and you feel confident that you've really done a good job of blending this in and working it in. Alright, now we're ready to start working the scissor over comb in with the blending shears. And what we're simply going to do is just go in to where we see any sort of lines of anything, and we're going to start to just do scissor over comb with the thinning shear or the blending shear. Okay, and you can bring that straight up like that, all the way up here this way, just to soften that line up that you cut initially. And this is just going to really put the icing on the cake and just really give this whole thing a beautiful soft flow to it. And you'll be able to see where it's thicker, where it needs it, and just do it all by eye, really. This is all purely visual, okay? And you're going to work this up all the way up the head shape, and you can go, as high as you want. The higher you go, the more of a softer blend it's going to have, okay? There, as you can see, comb it down, and you've got a nice stack with really beautiful soft graduation into there. Alright, now I'm just going to continue to work on this side and through here, just softening this area up like this. Then you can actually work it in through this way too. Alright, now I'm going to show you another trick. This is actually going to be with the thinning shear. Right, I mean, not the thinning shear, I'm sorry, the razor. Okay, this is razor over comb. This really also works well, and this really softens everything up too. And you just simply lay it over and you're scraping off any excess lines, any excess weight that you might see, and this really puts a soft blend on everything as well. This is definitely a technique I've been using for many years, and this definitely softens everything up really nicely, as you can see. Just be careful that you don't go too far in through the hair, because you don't want to create any sort of holes. You don't want to cut your client, but you just really want to softly lay the comb in like this, and that's what you're scraping. It's just that excess little bit of weight right into there, and you're just kind of scraping it away. So I'm going to go back in and I'm just going to smooth iron this, put some finishing touches, and then we'll be done. Now what I like to do sometimes, just to finish this off, to make sure everything is pretty nice and even, is I actually go in with a clipper like this, and I just pretty much carve the line straight in this way. Alright, and just use those clippers and just work the line in, and sometimes that really gives a beautiful shape, just like that. Okay, You can edge it off, and it's done literally in seconds. Okay, and you just use your eye and kind of gauge where you want everything, and just work it in and sharpen that line up. Okay, that's the best way that I think you can do this in a quick way. It's like you're creating a sharp line into there. Okay, and there you go. As you see, it works into the front, and all you're doing is just continuing and creating a sharp edge and really, really amazing shape. Look at that. See that? Alright, I'm going to do this on the other side, and then we'll be almost finished. Alright, so I'm just going to spin this around so you can see. There you go. See the stacking right there? And I'm bringing this, I did bring it over to the side this way and created a side part. You don't have to part it on the side, but if you want, you can. And yes, this will be longer on this side when you bring it all the way over, because you're extending this over. Okay, so and now here we go on this side. As you can see, it's got a beautiful shape to it, and I'm really, really happy and proud of this one. There's the stacking right there, and here we go into the back. Worked it in, and I think it looks beautiful. Again, this mannequin hair is not, it's human hair. Every mannequin head is different. Every human head is different. But this is actually more challenging. We're doing this on this particular head. But I really think this came out beautiful, and I really, really hope that you guys can get something from this, and hope this can help you in your careers. Well, I hope you enjoyed my technique on how to achieve a stacked bob. I'm sure I'm going to receive comments from, hey, I could have done this, or I could have done that. Well, you know what? Screw you, man, because this is the way I was doing it, and I'm trying to do this so I can help you guys. And, you're going to either love it or you're going to hate it. But I think it came out great. Maybe, open your mind, trying a new technique. This is something, again, I learned many, many years ago, over, between 15 and 20 years ago. At least I learned this. So I just want to share it with you, bring you guys a little throwback to when I first started and how I used to cut bobs, and they used to come out really good. So thanks so much for watching. Thank you for all your requests, and keep subscribing, keep watching my videos, and I can't do this without you guys. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time.